It's really easy to progress through life, coasting through without achieving what you envisioned or making any real progress. You might look back to lost relationships, lost job opportunities, what could have been. Instead, you missed out on all of these opportunities. Why? Because you didn't say yes. It's understandable. I mean, your life is busy, you figure that another opportunity will come knocking eventually, but at a better time in your life. So you pass, you don't say yes, don't chase that opportunity. Only eventually, the people in your life will stop asking you. They figure you're just going to say no, like you always do. Similar opportunities stop presenting themselves. You don't have a crystal ball, you have no way of knowing whether an opportunity will present itself again, nor can you really influence its likelihood once you've said no. It doesn't have to be this way though. You still have time to take every opportunity. Yeah, not everything will work out. You might not get a lot out of it in the end. But the beauty of saying yes to things is that you still possess the opportunity to hold your hands up and say, no, this isn't for me. I'm not going to continue doing this. When you immediately reject an opportunity, you very rarely get the chance to change your mind in the same way. This is why the number one advice I would give to anyone is to just say yes to things. Saying yes to things has honestly helped my professional life so much on multiple occasions. I'm going to take you back to when I was interviewing for my current job. I was in uni and the job required a minimum of 3 shifts from 9 to 6 every week. I was hesitant about how manageable this would be, but in the end I figured I'll interview for it, probably won't even get it, so it'll just be good interview experience if nothing else. Then I got offered the position. I was still concerned about how I could balance it with my university commitments, but again, I figured I can do a few weeks, see how it goes. If it doesn't work, I can back out and I've lost nothing, but I've potentially gained everything. So I took the position, and it was the best decision that I could have made. This job changed my life, my outlook, and my mindset. I don't even know where I'd be if I had immediately let my anxieties get the best of me and didn't take the opportunity. Well, I do know for a fact I wouldn't be doing as well as I am now. The second opportunity I said yes to was the opportunity to create 2 adverts for products I'd used during my A-levels. It wasn't anything crazy, but I figured I may as well say yes. I had marketing experience from work, so it wasn't going to be too hard to write a script, and the whole thing wouldn't have been that much work. The pay was good for what it was, though I was used to earning a lot more in my primary job, so I just really said yes for the hell of it. I'm glad I did though, because after submitting the finished product, the owner of the company actually reached out and offered me more freelancing work. So by simply saying yes to an easily dismissible opportunity, I'd not only secured more work for myself, but I'd also made a good contact. Someone who'd built his own success from the ground up, and someone I can hopefully network with in the future on succeeding in business as a young person. Yeah, if I'd said no to that initial opportunity, I wouldn't have lost out much in terms of money, but the contacts that I've been able to make have been priceless. Now, obviously, my new philosophy on life is to say yes to as much as humanly possible. However, it hasn't always been this way, and I do have a lot of regrets, particularly in terms of relationship building and overall experiences in life. As a teenager, I did really struggle with my mental health, which often led to me declining invitations to go out with friends in favour of staying in my room. Staying in my room didn't make me feel better, it just allowed me to shoo more, and as a result, my mental health got significantly worse. So, while my peers were able to build lasting connections and grow closer to one another, I could only ever really build surface-level connections with people. This is something that I've only really started being able to tackle in the last year or so, and my personal life would have been a lot different had I just said yes to more things earlier on. So, over the next week, I want you to practice saying yes to more things. It can be small things if it's majorly out of your comfort zone, like someone asks you to get a coffee. Just say yes. But over time, these small things will accumulate in the same way that saying no to things will keep you stuck in the same position. Saying yes to things will ensure that you develop yourself, both personally and professionally. As someone with anxiety, it can be really easy to overthink these things and reject them immediately, but you can't grow if you aren't willing to step outside of your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be a massive leap or anything. You don't have to go skydiving or anything like crazy. You can just take a tiny step, and when you're ready to look back in a few years, you'll actually realise that you've come quite far and taken quite a few steps since then. I obviously still have a long way to go on my journey, but even just saying yes to opportunities in a year has benefited me greatly. So I am looking forward to seeing how far I'll progress over a longer period of time. If you like this kind of content, please feel free to let me know and subscribe. If you have any thoughts at all, please do feel free to leave a comment and we can discuss things further. And you are also very welcome to suggest future points of discussion. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next week.